Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kristen Macy, volleyball player from Edmond, Oklahoma, leads the Stars in several statistical categories. And Kristen, what's been the highlight of the season so far?
Well, it's really cool because we're 7-3 in conference, and we haven't even hit our full potential yet. So I'm really excited because I don't think we've had that highlight yet. I think it's still coming, which is really cool. So,
when did you start playing volleyball?
About 10 years ago. I was in 4th grade, so it's been a while, and my dad actually got me into it. So it's kind of a big influence. It was kind of cool.
And what made you stick with it?
I just knew that I kind of had a natural talent. I mean, my dad would tell me, my friends would tell me, my family would tell me that I picked up on it a lot quicker than other people would, and so they kind of just saw that it was something that I would be pretty good at it. So I stuck with it.
And how did you go about developing the skills that you're now able to translate into the college game?
Well, I've had great coaches along the way, and also it kind of takes a lot of hard work personally, and can't cheat yourself. You have to work hard, and the coaches that push you to work hard yourselves are pretty cool too.
You changed your jersey number this year from the number you wore as a freshman, and now you're wearing the same number as your dad and your sister. Is that correct?
Yes.
Tell us what went into that change and how you feel that honors them by wearing their number.
Well, it's really cool because my dad's played volleyball for 25 years and basketball and all those other sports, and he always wore number 4. So it was really cool. They kind of like passed that number down to his kids because my sister plays volleyball as well. So we both wear 4. He still wears 4. So it's just really cool because we both, like, it kind of keeps us all connected in our different areas of where we're playing, but it kind of keeps us connected as a family. So.
What's your major here at OCU?
I'm an early childhood education major, so I want to teach little kids, kindergarten. That's where my heart's at. So.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Talking to Delaware Resource Group Superstar Athlete of the Week, Kristen Macy. You can follow the volleyball team on OCUsports.com.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to men's basketball coach Dionne Phelps. The Stars get underway with an exhibition game November 1st against Midwestern State. And Coach, you have that Midwestern State game. Your non-conference includes Central Oklahoma, Southern Nazarene, and also another exhibition against North Texas. Talk about the challenge that schedule is going to present.
It's going to present a pretty big challenge for us. As you know, Midwestern is usually probably in the top 10 in the country every year. And it's a great game for us. I think it gives us an opportunity to find out who we are as early as we can against an experienced team like Midwestern. But when you also look at UCO, who had a great team last year, Southern Nazarene, that's always competitive at the Division II level. And then you look at North Texas, who in the past have been a very good team in their league. So all 4 of those opponents will give us an opportunity to see where we are defensively, mentally. At least it will be a challenge because of the size and the depth that most of those teams carry.
Tell us about some of the new guys that you brought in for this year.
This year we brought in Theron Chilton. He was a transfer from Middle Tennessee. Gary Inglet, that was at SWASU a year ago. We also brought in Evan White and Yvonne Jelinich. Those 2 came together from Lamar State University, a community college there in Port Arthur, Texas. One of my assistants, Lance Madison, that used to work for me, was the head coach there. So those 2 come from a very competitive environment. They've had 2 straight seasons of 20-plus win seasons, so they bring experience. Their freshman year, I think they came off the bench, but they got significant minutes coming off the bench, and then their senior year, their sophomore year, they got significant time. And Jelenic actually getting some time, and Evan getting some time starting for both those programs at 127 games. If you look at Theron Chilton, who was actually from Oklahoma, from Tulsa, when he was at Eastern Oklahoma, he took that team to the national tournament, where he was also named for their region here in Oklahoma, the most valuable player as a point guard there. Gary England, on his own right, there at Southwest Oklahoma State, was a second-team all-conference player. Probably could have easily been first-team all-conference. I think he averaged somewhere around 14 points, 9 rebounds a game. And so we're really excited about those guys. But other guys that we got coming in that I think should be able to help. We have a freshman in Jonathan Reed, who's a tremendous defensive player, just as quick as JD, as far as Jamil Donovan, as far as his quickness and his ability to be on the ball. I think he's going to be able to assist us defensively. We also have another young man that we brought in last year at semester, actually 2 guys, Kelvin Samuels, who was at Seminole and led Seminole in scoring when he was there. He sat out last semester and will be with us this fall and this year. A really good shooter, very tough, strong kid. And then Evan Doremus that we brought in from St. Edward's University. He came in at semester, and I think he's a 2-sport guy, cross-country guy, high jumper, and he plays with us, and I think he's gonna be able to do it. I mean, these guys. The one thing I like about them is they have a lot of energy. These new group of guys that we brought in are highly energetic kind of kids.
On top of that, you got a very experienced backcourt coming back with Terrence Bonhomme and also Jamil Donovan, who you talked about just a little bit. What is that kind of a veteran presence going to do for your team? You know what, it helps. I tell you where it helps mostly is when you talk about in the locker room, when you talk about during your practices, they have an idea of what we want and what we expect, and they pass that information on to our players, and they help continue to build the culture that we're trying to build here. So having them and having that experience is going to be big for us. Now, we may not be as deep as other teams in our conference with that type of experience, but I'm glad to have those 2 guys back. I think Terrence Bonhomme had a tremendous summer. He was here all summer long, and you couldn't keep him out of the gym, and that was really important to us, and it's going to be important for him throughout the season and for our team. Up front, Demasone, as well as Dorian Giger, who got some time as a freshman last year. Some experience coming back there as well. Exactly. I think with Dema, I think he might have been in the top 20 in the country in block shots. I think his presence there is going to help. I think he has a better understanding of what we want from him. He has really developed as far as his maturity is concerned. He's taken big steps in his basketball maturity. I think he sees that this is his last year and he wants to make it special. So I can't speak enough of what he's done since he's been back. And then offensively also, he's expanded his game. And Dorian Giger, I'm not sure if you had a chance to see him yet, but he's put on about 15, 20 pounds of just muscle. He had a tremendous summer about, putting on weight. It appears that he's grown a little bit too. But, Dorian, I mean, he's a high energy type player. And so we need that. And so we're really excited about those 2 guys coming back. And perhaps the biggest returner is you're going to get R.J. McGee back for another year. Talk about how big that is. It's big. It's big. I mean, I think anytime you can get a young man back into your program that has received the honors that he's received, and he did that only just on 1 semester. And I think that that's going to be big for our program. I think for our other players, I think they have confidence in his abilities. And for RJ, I think he is maturing in a way that we want to see him mature, where he can start trusting his other teammates. And I think in that 1 semester that he had last semester, I felt like he wanted to get out there so bad. He had been sitting out for so long that he wanted to prove himself with the rest of the remaining of our conference that we had left. And I think now he's settled down, and I think he'll have a better feel for the conference. I think he'll have a little bit more patience. But really what we need from him is we need him to be an outstanding defensive player, and I think he can be that. But we're really excited. I think any coach in the country would be kidding you to say that they're not excited about having an All-American back, and we are. You guys will host the Sooner Athletic Conference Tournament this year at Abe Lemons Arena in early March. Talk about how excited you are about that, what kind of advantage it gives you in conference tournament time. You know what? We're excited about it. I think anytime you can have a home game, you're going to be excited about that. And hopefully, when it does come that conference tournament time, we'll have 3 home games. But we're going to have to prove ourselves. I think anytime you try to rest on the fact that you have the conference tournament at your place and you think that you're going to be able to get through that, I think that's setting yourself up for failure. We were able to
be that team one year that went over to OBU and had some success and came from 7th place to win the conference tournament. So as you know, this conference, it doesn't matter where the conference tournament is at. Every team is gunning at you, whether it's at your place or anyone's place. So we just have to get there and be ready, be at our best at that point in time. So that's what we're focused on, is just being at our best, and hopefully we can have a successful run in the conference tournament.
What inspired you to get into coaching as your career?
You know, I think like anything, I think your career finds you. And that might sound a little hokey, but I think it does find you. But I had some really good mentors. My high school coach, Jim Schuler, invested a lot in me and spent a lot of time. I had really good coaches that did the exact same thing when I was in middle school. And as a young boy, you grow up and you start to admire your coaches, and your coaches become like your second father figure, or for some kids, becomes your only father. And so you turn around and you want to be just like them. You see the impact that they have on other people's lives, and you just kind of follow suit. And I think that's what I've done. I would love to tell you that it was a plan, but I was blessed to being given the opportunity when I graduated. And just like most students, when they graduate, they're not real sure where they're going. And so my coach said, hey, why don't you try this out? And I did. And here I am, I think 26 years later, I think that's about right. I'm definitely starting to feel it now. My hair isn't gray yet, but it really had a lot to do with the men that were in my life and invested in my life, and they just happened to be coaches.
All right, Coach, thanks very much. Talking to men's basketball coach Dionne Phelps. The Stars season just around the corner. They'll get started with an exhibition game at Midwestern State on November 1st.